you are meant to be around a certain group of people, a certain caliber of women, a certain just type of people, your own tribe, and they're not gonna need to hate on you because they're gonna be operating in a similar frequency. Okay, so I'm gonna try my best to keep this video short, okay? Because I don't want to talk all day with this, because really I just want to save you a lot of time and a lot of years, right? I'm in my 30s. I went through a lot with female friendships and female connections in my early life and in my 20s, right? And my belief is that for me, the reason why I went through such extremes is because it's a part of my purpose. I believe that when something is a part of your purpose, it will agitate you, or it will recur in your life, and you will have to learn how to navigate it so that you can share. I think that's where we are as a species. And yeah, so for me, I've been through it. So I'm sharing it with you, the short version, so that you can navigate it better and understand it, right? So the first order of business when navigating difficult women is understanding why they are the way they are. This is not new to you. I'm pretty sure there's countless content on this on YouTube, and it's a topic now. So I'm sure you've heard some of what I'm gonna say. But a lot of it is rooted in patriarchy, competition. All the words that I'm gonna name are still, a lot of them are still rooted in the patriarchy itself, like competition for men, poor self-image, a spirit of lack, because that's where envy comes from in itself, is you believing that you lack something and you see that something in someone else, and that makes you angry, right? Now, there are some of us who don't operate this way for whatever reason. I don't know. It's a very few, far in between women that do not operate this way, and we tend to be on the other end spectrum of the violence of the women who do operate this way, which is the vast majority, right? So, yeah, first order of business, understanding that the women that are bullying you, the women that are, lashing out at you, making you feel inadequate at work, so on and so forth, it's because they see something in you that disturbs them. If it was just because you were an unpleasant person, or you were being mean or something like that, they would just steer clear of you, right? They wouldn't even talk about you in that not that way. They would talk about you in the sense of, especially if it's in a work environment, it would be more so like, oh man, I hate being around her, and just trying to avoid you. Now, if you're unpleasant, if you're a bad person. So if that's the if that's the case, this video is not necessarily for you. But everybody else, you know what I'm saying? If you know, you didn't do anything. You just receiving weird energy for absolutely no reason. In fact, you might have gone above and beyond for a person or group of people. You may have put them onto things. You may have spoke life into them, and right? You gotta. I spend a lot of time studying people, observing people myself. I'm very spiritual. I've always been into psychology, so these things interconnect to understand not just yourself, but the world around you and the people in it. There are a lot of things with women, and also not to mention, women are very powerful. All women too, from the most weakest woman to the strongest woman, to the most mindless woman to the most aware woman, they have a level of power. It just increases as the more aware you become. So it's very dangerous to be around women who operate in this way that I'm talking about, with this weird energy, because they're misplacing their energy and they're misusing their energy, and they don't even know it. they're placing their power actually on the outside of them than on the inside where it belongs, to power them up to become the person that they're hating on. They could just become the girl instead of hating on her. Whatever aspect of that person's agitating them, they could just have that for themselves. But we live in a society that tells people that they're not enough, or they don't have enough, or that they can't do things. So they're not going to naturally believe that they can do a thing or be a thing. They are just going to see people be that thing and be mad at that thing. If you're mad because she's sexy, it's because you want to be sexy. If you're mad because she's pretty, it's because you want to be pretty. And you can very well go do that. But instead, you decide it's something about her. It's just something about her. It's just ignorant. It's really ignorant. Anyway, though, your first order of business is to truly understand where this comes from. I don't mean by an individual person either. I don't mean waste your time trying to psychoanalyze someone to make space for them and you're letting them live rent free in your head. No, I mean just generally understanding women by observing them. Observe them, the things they say, the things they do, and it will make it a lot easier on you. And it's okay to add a dab of compassion too, because it is unfortunate that you don't understand that you can be that girl instead of wasting your time hating on me. Okay, so another thing, the second order of business is you gotta, like, wherever you are that these women are existing in that are treating you badly or have treated you poorly, especially if it's something for you to look back on, that's even better because you can observe it from a past perspective. If you're in it right now, it's kind of difficult, but is it at a job you don't really even like? That's a sign you're just not supposed to be there to begin with, right? Is it a group of friends that you know deep down are not aligned with who you are or who you want to be? That's a good indicator. That was what it was for me. Like when I began to look back on some of my friendships or connections with certain women, it was always in a space where I wasn't supposed to be. I wasn't even supposed to be there. I wasn't supposed to be at anybody's job because I'm a boss. And I'm not even just saying that because it's popular to say now. I've always been that. However, I didn't always see my own personal value. My self-concept wasn't there. And therefore, because my self-concept wasn't there, I was bringing myself into a plane of existence that I shouldn't have even been on. So, of course, I'm going to attract haters. Just think about it for a second. And this is not even, matter of fact, I am talking my shit. I'm talking my shit. But just imagine if Beyonce goes to work at McDonald's for a day. And I'm talking about not even famous Beyonce. I mean, just look at how she looks and the talent she carries and who she is, how she carries herself, how she walks, talk, her level of beauty. And she goes to work at McDonald's for a week. Girl, they gonna turn her every which way but loose because she ain't even supposed to be there. Right? This is you. Yeah, there are a group of us, because this video is not for everyone, like I said. Like, there's a group of us that are supposed to be in a certain space. And when you get to that certain space, you will be around less. I'm not going to say haters disappear, but you will be around less miserable people, and you will be around more people who have a higher self-concept because they're living their dream, they're following their passion, they believe in themselves, they believe in what they're doing, they operate on a certain frequency. And this is not just about money or things either. I mean just in totality, right? But Beyonce ain't supposed to be at McDonald's. She's supposed to be in the vibration of who she came here to be. And it's not just hers, it's a lot of women that I could name. But think about yourself that way. Even if you don't have a high self-concept at this moment, or you haven't in the past, the truth is, if you gravitated toward this video, you definitely are a boss, a bad bitch, a goddess, a creator. You different, you're unique. You're not like other people around you, and it's not even an egotistical way. You are meant to be around a certain group of people, a certain caliber of women, a certain just type of people, your own tribe. And they're not going to need to hate on you because they're going to be operating in a similar frequency. They themselves get up and take care of themselves. They themselves believe good things about themselves in their lives, right? And sometimes the environment we are in at the moment is not our fault initially, but we have to realize that we can change it. That's what it was with me. I was born in an environment I didn't choose. it took me some years to come to the realization of who I was and God was creating in me, for me to see like, oh, I'm not even supposed to be around these people. I'm not supposed to be here at this thing, at this job. They're not supposed to even know me. And realizing that and acting in that finally caused me to attract more quality people, more supportive people, people who just weren't operating like that. You know, you walk into a room of goddesses, why would why would they be bothered by your presence? A true God, I'm never bothered by another woman's presence. If anything, girl, what's tea? Like, what's the tips? Come on now, like, and I'm congratulating you because I love it. Like, it's just inspiring to me. You just show me what I can do, what I do have access to. You know what I mean? Like, I've always felt more inspired than envious. Envy is dangerous though. Envy, they say it's a natural human emotion, and I'll give people that, but not when it turns dangerous. It can turn dangerous. People, i.e., think about Selena, Aaliyah, right? I could go on and on. I'm sure you know some people. You've experienced some things. I've seen girls getting robbed and all kinds of things, just in pure danger out of from envy. People envying them, right? So it's not a game. It's not a joke. You know, it's really a real thing, and it must be checked and it must be navigated safely. You have to keep yourself safe, and I that's something I needed in my young years that I didn't have. Grace, thankful to the grace of God, and my angels and my spirit team, that I just have protection before I could learn to protect myself. But people can be very dangerous. And if you know that you're around the wrong crowd or the wrong people and you feel that in your body, your best bet is to move on, move forward as soon as possible. Is to isolate yourself for a moment, not forever, but for a moment, until you can gather yourself and figure out what's next and what is your next move and what do you want to do with this? Because right now you're around people you don't need to be around, or you've been around people you don't need to be around, and you don't need to experience that again. So, for my third note, I had asked yourself how you attracted this energy. So, this is an important one, and I'm going to try to keep it short. But when I went to look back at my female friendships and my connections and just overall the things I've experienced in my life, there was an element to my personality that I could understand how they slithered their little snake asses in my space, right? And for me, it was a mother wound, right? It's funny because a lot of the women that act the way they act that way because of the mother wound. So, in a sense, we're both fighting the same demon, just responding to it differently. It's responding to it differently. But anyway, you know, my mom was someone who I don't really know how to explain this right now, but I always wanted to save her or help her. You know, she did the best she could do, you know, with what she had and where she was at that time in life. So I don't have any issues with my mother at this point at all. God bless her. You know, it's hard. It's hard, really. But it made me want to save and help. You know, it created this wound of just being open to anyone. And I think my mother is the root of how I became. It was part of my purpose too. That initial experience was a part of the culmination of things. Hopefully that plane didn't block my voice out. But the culmination of things that made me who I am. You know, a lot of times your darkness or your experiences, like I said earlier, are part of your purpose. It's just little puzzle pieces leading you to the ultimate thing. So, you know, because of that energy, it made me accept people into my space that I would not have. And now I see those archetypes of people differently now. Like, not even in a bad way, but just like, oh, yeah. You know what I mean? You should not even been in my space because we don't resonate. But I had way too open of a heart, way too open of an energy, way too open of a space, because I had that savior complex, or that wounded energy of wanting to be accepted, wanting to be loved, like I spoke on in my last video, right? And it allows certain people to get into your space that should never even have been in your space. My little curl. Okay, anyway. They should have just never been in your space, right? So take inventory of, if again, if it's a past experience, ask yourself, okay, how did I end up there? And how am I ending up here? What may be causing me to even be around these group of people? When I look back on the people that I was hanging with at a certain point in my life, I really was like, wow, like, and where I'm at now and where I'm headed, it's like kind of, I try to fight embarrassment because I don't regret nothing, and I know life is just a journey, and also they're on their own journey too. So I just, but it's just like, wow, like, babe, this is why we have to raise our daughters and our sons to know certain things ahead of time, so that in the next generation they won't be doing some of this stuff, because it's honestly a waste of time. And I honestly feel like if I didn't waste that time, I'd probably already be a billionaire. I know you like billionaire, bitch. Just wait and see. Just watch me. We at the beginning right now. Like literally, we shouldn't have even known each other had I been in my right mind. But I had to some spiritual and emotional things to resolve, and a lot of times your spiritual and emotional lessons have to come through people. That's the easiest ways for us to learn is through people. And you're only blessed with the realizations if you are self-aware, if you decide to take inventory of yourself, observe people without judgment, and assess it, and you're just like, all right, yeah, I learned this, I can move on now. But it's just like, wow, when you look back, you like, wow, why was I even there? Why? No. Okay, moving on. Honestly, at this point, I don't know what number I'm on, but this next point is, if you're a certain type of woman, honestly, friends may not be for you. Like close friendships, like how we were with them when we were young. In this space and time, I do think collectively women are evolving, and all of these talking points, all of these videos, all of these connections and evolving that we're doing, it's going to equal somewhere one day, and it'll probably be our children who will be able to exist in a different emotional space collectively, where they can connect differently. And there are some people who are doing it now, so don't take, I'm just, like I said, this video is for a specific type of person. If you're watching it, it's probably you. But female friendships, I'm not going to say they're not for me and they may not be for you, because God is sophisticated and things can change at any moment, any variable. I do believe I'm always open for things, so I'm never going to be negative, like just like no female friends. Nah, I'm not hurt like that. But how the vast majority of women act currently, where we are energetically, and like I said, I'm an intuitive, I'm a clairvoyant, I'm a psychic, I'm a be real, where we are collectively in the feminine aspect at this moment, there are not many suitable friendships that would not bleed me, that would not be energetically vampiric, if that's a word, for me. Like, it's not. There are very few women. But when I recognize a woman who is in her power and knows that and is not insecure and, is arrived and mastered and so on and so forth, I'll be willing to accept connection if she is. I'm never going to be closed off to any forms of love that God in the universe sends me. But I am not going to be stupid and unaware either. And the truth is, most women don't know how to gather themselves, take awareness, take self inventory. They don't know how to question themselves. They don't know how to feel their feelings, assess themselves, question themselves. They don't know how to communicate with you when something may have happened and not went so well. Again, some women do, but not very many, enough for us to be saying we need a complete friend group. The friend group thing is just definitely, if you're watching this video, the friend group thing is definitely not it for you. Like, that's not it. Will you find a girl or two? Maybe. And hopefully, if that's what you want, but you must be ready to stand alone. And I know that that's a hard pill to swallow for most women. It was for me too, because like I told y'all in my last video, I'm a person with Libra placements. I love people. I love being around people. Hold on. The kiddos are making noise. Okay. I had to sound check because I'm at the park and the kids behind me were, really loud. So yeah, hopefully you can hear me now. And the noise is canceled. But yeah, like, so it's not slim pickings. The more evolved that you are, unfortunately, makes you have slimmer pickings with the opposite sex and the same sex. So, you just have to be able to accept that. And unfortunately, it's the burden of being that girl. It's the burden of being a bad bitch. It's the burden of being a goddess. You know who you are and you can't fight it. I tried to fight it too. I tried to dumb myself down. Like I told you on the last video, I tried to dumb myself down when I was young. I tried to do a lot of things to have that experience. But I had to face the funk that I'm unique, I'm different, I'm evolving, I'm constantly evolving. I'm on a journey of mastery. I'm I'm just my level of awareness, intellect, and who I am is just going to be too much for the average person. But it's especially in navigating women's circles, and there are going to be people, women who even embrace me. I know that. I know that there are a lot of women who gonna embrace me. I'm not stupid, but I'm talking about close friendships. That's gonna be a rarity in this case. So you just have to accept that, and yeah, it's not sad, to be honest. You can still have associates. You can have people you go out with. You just have to compartmentalize, if that's the good word I'm looking for. But you have to like be able to put people in certain boxes. Like, okay, we go out, but I know not to share my business with you. I know not to trust you a certain way, you know, because it just is what it is. You have to become strategic, and not in like a I'm fighting against the world type of way, or me against the world type of way. Just be strategic. Be neutral and strategic, and you'll be fine. Okay, and so while that last point was for some people and was not for some, you do not have to adapt that last ideology. But I'm just saying, whether it was for you or not, this last point is important as well. Where I'm saying, like, are you the kind of woman fully that you would want surrounding you? You have to ask yourself that. Hold on. You have to ask yourself, are you showing up energetically with the same energy that you are seeking from your experience? Ooh, the wind. Are you, hold on. Okay. Are you showing up? Do you feel like what you would want to feel? This is even a better and bigger point than my last point, because honestly, at the end of the day, we are powerful beings. We can magnetize to ourselves what we want. So if you say to God, to the universe, to your spirit team, that I want connections with women who, you know, have arrived and can show love and can be love, then you will attract that, right? You will have that, just that. You can have what you say you want. The universe is just gonna have to shift and move some things around because of where humans are right now. But you can have anything you really, really want. You know, I'm a true believer in that more than anything, right? But you have to become that energy, and or I wouldn't even say become, because it's leaning more into the law of attraction, which I don't necessarily like adapt that whole ideology, but just make sure that you have to offer what you would like offered to you. Make sure you feel like love. Make sure that you see yourself in your highest concept. I had to do that in order to start attracting more quality women. And now when I do talk to women, even though I'm not necessarily looking for a bestie, when I'm talking to women and when I naturally connect with women, I'm connecting with quality women who do not look at me a certain way, no matter what type of woman they are. It could be anywhere from a mom, a soccer mom, to a model, to just an average hood girl. Like, but I don't experience what I used to experience at the magnitude and as often as I used to experience it, because I decided that those things that I felt like were magnetizing those people to me, I decided I didn't want to experience that anymore, and I didn't want to be that anymore. I needed to see myself better so that I could exist in better spaces comfortably. So that's an aspect of this too. And at the end of the day, you just have to accept that some people are just fucking weird. And that part, you really can't do anything about it but use the law of assumption and say, oh, she just hate me because, she wants to be me. Like, no, don't lean too much into it emotionally. And also, like, continue doing you, continue being you. Continue showing up as that girl. Don't start hiding. Don't start doing none of that stuff that we do when we go through this. Y'all know what I'm talking about, because if you experienced it, you know what I'm talking about. It starts making you want to shrink yourself because, like, what am I doing? Like, am I too bad of a bitch? Am I too smart? Am I too this? Am I too dark? Am I too this? Am I that? Like, no, baby. Show up in your full capacity, but just learn these boundaries. Learn how to move. Learn to be strategic, and things will go as they should. At the end of the day, ladies, the day has to end, okay? Do not engage with that coonery, buffoonery bullshit. You know, continue being you, continue doing it big, continue being a bad bitch, continue showing up, continue popping your shit, continue being bigger than life. And the world just has to assimilate, and you just have to navigate this shit. But there's nothing that you can do about it, because even though you're a goddess, you are not God, you know? So that's my message for today. I hope that you were able to pull something from that little rant. It was not very organized like I wanted it to be. I tried my best, but I'm working on it. I'm getting better. Leave a comment and, let me know what you think about the video. That's all for today. I will see you in the next video and we will chat. Okay. But until that day, you continue being a bad bitch and not letting anybody or anything stop you from doing that. Okay.